What's up guys, TheOneIntegral here, back with some more Pokemon Sun and Moon coverage, and this is something that came out just the other day, I think, it wasn't too long ago, and this is the fact that there are two names, or two trademarks that have been registered by a company, and these names are possibly the legendary Pokemon for Sun and Moon. These names are Solgaleo and Lunala. So Solgaleo and Lunala. Obviously these would be the Japanese names, so they would be slightly different for English. But these are two trademarks that have been registered. And obviously when a new Pokemon comes out, the Pokemon company, they have to register trademarks for the for the name of the Pokemon, because otherwise someone else can just come along and reuse the exact name for whatever they want to sort of win or get leech views, whatever you want to call it, off of them. So they like to trademark all their Pokemon names as well as the game names, for example. In the past, majority of these names have been trademarked by either the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, or Nintendo, of course, or another company called Creatures, which is obviously related in some aspects of what they do. But there have been one or two. For example, Delphox for X and Y was trademarked by an applicant called Amiko Mochizuki. Who knows? It's just a Japanese sort of company of some sort. But sometimes when people do trademark things, they use a proxy. As in, they say to someone, "Can you trademark this for me and put it under our name?" They'll pay them a certain amount, and obviously the Pokemon Company, it's useful for them to do this. Otherwise, they just trade. The Pokemon Company trademarked this. It's got to be a new Pokemon sort of thing. So they like to do it sometimes through proxy. It's not too often they do it, but sometimes they do it. Now, these two trademarks have been registered not by the Pokemon Company or Nintendo or anything, but by a company or a company called Yusuke Inui, and this applicant or company turns out to be an IP lawyer, which stands for intellectual property. So you can say to them, "Can you trademark this for us?" basically. So it's not confirmed, obviously, that these are the two legendary names, but it is actually very likely because trademarked pretty much together. It was actually back in 2016 these are trademarked. It wasn't recently, but the news has only just come to light. But obviously Solgaleo and Lunala, it's very, very likely that these are, I wouldn't say very, very likely, but it's fairly likely these are the two Japanese names for the legendary Pokemon, because Sol, Sun, and Luna, Moon, Luna. So it's very, in my opinion, it's very likely these are the names. However, of course, I'm not going to confirm anything or anything along those lines. That they actually are related to Pokemon in any aspects. I feel like myself is just a bit sort of likely it's going to happen. So you can assume. We knew already that two legendaries were going to be related to the Sun and the Moon. But obviously we can't really go too much into speculation here. But if we have a little look, Solgaleo, okay, Sol obviously being Sun. Now Galeo, the Galeo section is a bit weird. Now, a quick sort of description if you don't know how Japanese works. Obviously, Solgaleo is the Romaji sort of written version of it, but then obviously Japanese actually have a symbol version. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. So you can translate Romaji into katakana, as it's known, and then katakana into English if you want to know. If we put ga into the Romaji for ga, into katakana, and then into English, it gives us moth. So it might be related to moths, but also then the bit that sort of seals it for me is Leo at the end. Leo, okay? Leo. I'm pretty sure if we go on translators. Okay, there we go. I've got something to give me what lion is in loads of different languages. In Catalan, it's Ilio. In Galician, it's Leon. In Irish, it's Leon as well. In Italian, it's Leon, and then Spanish, it's Leon. So Leo features in all of these, of course. So it's I think it's fairly likely that, or not fairly likely, but it's a possibility that Solgaleo, Leo will relate to a lion-like design in it, Sol, Sun, Lion almost. Ga could obviously relate to it being some sort of moth. Obviously, we have Volcarona, and it is a fire type, and it does sort of relate to the sun in some aspects. It looks a bit like sun, etc. So they could maybe combine all three of those aspects. A sun, moth, lion, something like that. I don't know how it would look, but a moth and a lion would be two pretty good guesses for what the Sun legendary is going to be sort of stylized as. In terms of the second name, Lunala, is a bit harder because obviously Solgaleo is very easily split up into Sol, Ga, and Leo. Lunala is Luna, obviously for moon, sort of thing there, and Ala doesn't really give you anything there. However, ala in Spanish is wing, so it's a possibility that the moon Pokemon could be based on some sort of flying Pokemon, of course, or because we had moth in the first one, it could be that they are both moths, one being a lion moth and one being something else, you know. I mean, if I Google lion moth quickly, I'm pretty sure lion moth is a thing. I think, yes, lion moth is a thing, so they could make them two moth Pokemon, because I mean, at least you see a lot of moths around at night, but obviously a nice fiery moth would also make a lot of sense. So a lion moth, and of course we can't really think about what the second one is because we haven't got too much to go off of there. But you know, moth and lion, you could have two moth Pokemon, two lion-like Pokemon, one being a male, i.e. the sun, one being a female, i.e. the moon, and it could be something along those lines. Who knows? Those are just my thoughts, guys. If you have any, feel free to let me know down below, because of course, speculation, we'll go for it. Another idea I've seen thrown around for the Solgaleo is that it possibly has Galileo built in, because obviously if we look at Galileo, I just want to make sure I'm not going to say something stupid about Galileo, but Galileo is an Italian astronomer, physicist, engineer, philosopher and mathematician, thank you Wikipedia, and he is actually, you know, has evolved with astronomy and stuff like that, so Galileo might make a bit of sense in, you know, to involve it in at least one of the names, of course. We have Lunala, so Al from Galileo is related in there if you really want to, you know, word it like that. But of course, he was involved in discovering, or not discovering, but observing the universe and, you know, astronomy stuff. So he invented the telescope, all of that good stuff. That I think he did. I think that was yeah, I think maybe he did something along those lines. Yeah. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Let me know what you think down below about these two names. What do you think they mean? Yeah, do you think they're the real names, or do you think they're going to be just sort of false, you know, whatever? But you know, just let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think they'll be based off of? If these names are the names, or if you think they're just duds, let me know that as well. But for now, this is it for me for today. If you like the video, hit the like button and drop a comment below. But for now, I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.